What's up, WWE Champions Universe? Welcome to Champions Chat, the fastest growing podcast dedicated to the WWE Champions mobile game. I'm Harvey Whippleman, Rusty Graves, and with me, as always, the Ugandan giant, Lee Brown. What's up, Lee?
Kamala didn't talk, so now now I just got to make like noises and scare children. So
Kamala was a great, I don't even know if I'd call him a heel, but he was a great squash character that inevitably would like strike fear into the audience and yet then would be exposed as a chicken at some point in the match.
right.
And he always was kind of a scaredy cat. Do you remember that? Like
Oh yeah,
like he was afraid of Damien if Jake brought him to the ring. He was terrified of that coffin, that casket match with Undertaker.
yeah.
So really interesting. And he did have several different managers. I don't know. The one guy with the mask that looked like a Bushman, was his
Yeah.
manager. But then Harvey Whippleman was his manager too. So yeah, really
Yeah, Harvey
wild.
Whippleman's who I remember there. I don't think Reverend Slick was his manager, but I seem to remember at one point they like crossed paths, or maybe it was like a multi-team match and he was there for that reason. But maybe Slick was as well. I don't know. Drop that in the comments if you know. If you know, tell me.
Well, the reason we're talking about Kamala is if you haven't heard yet, he's the weekend character, and he's only a 3K S tier recruit, which
Yeah,
actually has me very, very excited
me too.
for a number of reasons. Number one, I probably will not spend this weekend. I probably will not chase Kamala very hard this weekend, but the fact that he's at S tier at 3K um, helps me to believe that he will be fairly attainable in the following months, and his shards will be in
Agree.
the stipulation tour shop, et cetera, et cetera.
I agree.
I,
But they did do something with him that's similar to, but not the same thing as Viscera. Like with Viscera, it was straight $100, you get the character, you're done. With Kamala, they pretty much said if you buy the daily flagship offer, which I think is the $100 offer, but I could be wrong. It could be the,
right.
bigger than that offer. But functionally, if it's the $100 offer, so for $200 to $300, you guarantee yourself getting Kamala. So it kind of takes some of the RNG aspect out of it a little bit. You don't have to worry like, do I have to do 25 mega pulls to get this character? You know
Oh
that
yeah.
within two to
Okay.
three megas or possibly flagships, which that's a big difference. Obviously, that's the difference between $300 and $600. But I think it's the $200 to $300 worth of offers that you guarantee yourself Kamala. So I'm interested how they're doing that, and I like it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're excited to spend this weekend, it's actually a great way to recruit him. Um, so maybe it is a win because, like, if I'm not spending, I think it's the way he's being released is exciting. And maybe if you are planning on spending, the way he's being released is exciting for you as well. So,
And it kind of takes away the will I get him, won't I get him, how long till I get him if you know you can just guarantee yourself that with a couple hundred
well,
bucks.
yeah, and so Lee, let's put a pin in this. I think there's a theme that might work its way into today's conversation. Is for me, like I don't have a fear of missing out of Kamala, and I'm starting to sense that what we call FOMO, that like at least my FOMO seems to be almost non-existent at this point. Like
Wow.
I'm working the game in a way that works for me. I
Yeah.
have strategic points of attack. I feel comfortable um, with what I can get for what I am willing to do or spend, and I
Okay.
don't feel um, that miserable when I don't.
Hmm.
I wonder. I don't know, Lee. Are you feeling a similar sense of that? Like, is FOMO dwindling, or are we just like, have we grown callous to it? I don't know. I'd be
I don't
curious too
know.
in the chat
Yeah.
what you guys would say. So
Absolutely. Morning, Spider Guard. I would say, I guess FOMO is more selective now. I've gotten to a point with my roster, which I'm doing a series of videos now on who I actually use and things like that. But I've gotten to a point where almost every era, almost every class, almost every gender, I've got someone that is really, really good. And so the characters, like, I'm not going to lie, I chose not to spend on Drew McIntyre's weekend because I was thinking the week long event was going to be just, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know. And to be honest, I wish I had spent on that instead of the week long because I think I'm going to walk away with maybe one of the new wildcard plates. And spoiler, I just ran it on Hogan, and it's not as good as the Red Rumble plate on Hogan. So, maybe I'm gonna grab that. I'll put it on Lyra. It's gonna help her a lot. It's just gonna throw more damage. But I kind of wish I had gone for Drew McIntyre. So I do have a little bit of FOMO for Drew. But like I've noticed, there has been so many plates, so many moments, and some gears lately that have come out. And you know what? I'm okay. Like I could have spent $20 a day times 4 or 5 and guaranteed myself the new Piper and Chelsea moment. And it just
right.
wasn't even on my radar. I was like, those aren't characters I really
Oh, sure.
use. I don't care. The new plates, like I haven't felt. I would love to have gotten the rainbow reinforced plate, but other than that, like I haven't been like, oh man, I got to spend to get those. There's enough going on that there's a lot you can spend for, but I haven't felt like, oh my gosh, I have to go. Like, remember that night when we were streaming and Muscle Man Bray came out, and we
That was the
both
worst.
we both did 3 mega pulls, and neither of us got him.
Neither of us got literally
Anything,
anything new.
right?
Anything new. And that's back
Shards.
when my roster was substantially smaller than it is now. And that
Yeah.
was the number one feel bad moment of the game. They had this deal called High Roller Loot. If they
Yeah.
ever offer a High Roller Loot again, it will be a firm no. As soon as I hear those words, it will forever be tainted, in my opinion.
Right.
Um, and not only that, I mean, I didn't even get remotely close to Shard recruiting him. Like
Right.
it just was not what I don't even know. The
Yeah.
allure of it did not deliver anything
Yeah.
close.
I
Um,
100%. And so comments in the box real quick. Dylan said, "I remember the slump of disappointment from Rusty that night." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you just like by the second mega, you literally were just kind of sitting like this, like." And then Slim Numbers says the one thing I have FOMO on, and I would absolutely agree here. The one thing I have FOMO on is the green Piper plate. I agree. Like I'm not in a place where I'm going to be able to get that. I don't think from this Queens event. If I could have gotten the green Piper, yes, that is like if I get within $100 of the green Piper. I might choose to take that instead of going for Kamala this weekend, but I'm about out of what I can spend for this month. So
you know
yeah,
what, Lee? Let me just say, even the Green Piper plate, I didn't feel the anxiety of not having it or the rush of adrenaline to want to spend for it. I think I've
okay,
come to a point where I've accepted I am a mid-tier player in a top-tier faction. Like I think
okay,
I think knowing that about myself and just being honest about where I really am
hmm,
in the game is like our faction during Flash Feud went as high as like number 4
yeah,
on the overall, maybe 3. I think it was 4 though. Um, and like my scores weren't great. They were
yeah,
kind of middle of the pack, right? And like I thought that was a um, very telling of the state of affairs. So like the higher you go in this game, the more talent you're going to be surrounded by, and the higher your faction goes, the more elite players you're going to have in it.
right,
Um, And so yeah, so like I'm not trying to be self-deprecating or like woe is me at all, but like if I'm a mid-tier player in a top-tier faction, I think I can count on our faction rewards being pretty good, and I can probably count on my solo rewards being um to the level that I will miss out on whatever is new in Elite initially.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's helped circumvent the FOMO for me. So a new green piper blade, awesome. The elite players probably have it already. Probably
Yeah.
will get it, right?
Maybe even
Um,
two of them at this point.
and that's not me.
Right.
And so I've said this in previous podcasts, but I've started doing it again. Is I keep a list.
Hmm.
So for June MLC, I have two lists. I have
Okay.
one list that's a roster strategy. Okay, so it's like, and I have that broken down into class. I have a few notes like showdown coin promoters or showdown notoriety promoters. Like push those up as high as I can. But then I have like acro, I put Penta on it,
Hmm.
right? And I have like um, Bundy. What is he? Striker. So like I have it all broken down. It's like these are the guys I'm going to focus on building up this month. So that's my first list. My second list is what I've gotten this month. So it's
Okay.
just kind of a gratitude list, right? So anything of notoriety that I pull, like from a feud bag or hit on in a contest reward, and so armory loot, all that stuff. Like I just put it on that list, and then to me that helps circumvent any feeling of like I'm not getting good things because
Right.
I'll look at the list and be like, here's a great list of like really good things I've gotten this month. Michelle McCool, for
Yeah.
example. If all I got this month was Michelle McCool, it would have been a great month,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
And think back to the way we used to play it, where if you max the MLC, you got the chase character
Right.
one character, right? Everything else was a weekend character that had to
Right.
be pursued really hard and through a pretty high level of spending.
Yeah.
So if you viewed Michelle McCool this month as Zombie Cody, right? Zombie Cody is one of the first chase characters I ever got, and it was fantastic. And for me, that whole month was a huge win because I had Zombie Cody, right? So no FOMO about all the other. I don't remember who else was in that cycle. Maybe Zombie Sammy or
Zombie Sammy,
yeah,
Zombie Becky, all the ones that have Western gear on them. Damian
you know,
Priest, Liv.
like so that month I got none of those. I
You
got
got Damian
literally
Priest. We all
none
got
of those.
Damian Priest,
Got
but
Priest, yes.
yeah.
Got Damian Priest, and I got Cody. And
And
I
that was
was
it.
like, good month.
Right.
Good month. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I wonder if we've not been trained to think we deserve more than we used to actually earn through really competitive play in the same game of
Yeah.
mere before the 6-star gold meta began,
Right.
basically when that shift happened.
Yeah.
Rizar being the last chase superstar before 6 gold vibes month. Um, yeah, and the same's been true. I don't know, Lee, did you tell me about your marquee tournament, right? So like I I went in and just firing off, trying to do my best, and then read on Discord the strategy that everyone was using to do better. And I did a reverse Hamilton, right? I'm not gonna throw away my shot. Like I threw it right away. Threw
Oh,
my shot,
geez.
right? I was just over, just done. Like
Wow.
wow. Uh, so yeah, how'd you do? I lost round one, didn't advance.
Well, again, just because of the nature of how much I work, I didn't read anything. I didn't get a chance to go on Discord. I did see that Sir Zoro was number one in the community, and I was like, of course, the biggest brain for this game in the community is number one when it comes to doing damage. Of course, it should be Zoro. Like, the world has righted itself. But I didn't realize it was like a knockout competition, and so I did try, but I was just like, oh, I'm gonna play with this character and just see how much damage I can do. I didn't actually put in my highest damage character, and I made it all the way to the semifinals, and then I was like, all right, well, I'll go play the finals and have fun, and I'll use my actual strongest character, and I was out. And I was like, what the heck happened here? Oh, so I was a little upset, the FOMO side of things. I don't know that I would have gotten anything spectacular, but I definitely had like a, hey, I'm not supposed to be knocked out. You're supposed to be knocked out kind of a vibe. But it was fine. It
Oh,
was
okay.
fine. Again, tempering our expectations. What should we get? You hit on it, Maxine. Like, just the fact that you're getting the S tier character. So you are now getting the B tier, A tier, and S tier character free if they keep this format going. Where before the A tier character was your showdown superstar that was often surprisingly rare and surprisingly
Right.
expensive. So that's three of the five. Then if they do keep doing like Viscera and Kamala, where for a couple $100 guaranteed you can get that character, then the only one you really miss out on is the S plus tier. And that character should be rare. They should be stinking expensive. And you should have to use characters like that so you don't get knocked out of these if they do these bracketed tournament things again.
Right.
But I didn't. I wasn't paying enough attention. So it is what it is. And then they also did the speed. We haven't talked about those, but they added the speed tour. We talked last week about the fact that they're basically the Dean's Daily, Dead Man's Daily, but they're giving more rewards, like those low end rewards, the
Yeah.
build your roster rewards with
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I mean, it seems like there's still certain characters that are absolutely elite, absolutely rare, gears, moments, things like that are pretty spendy. But the bulk of the content is pretty available right now, and I hope they continue this. I really do.
Well, I mean, gosh, I don't want to keep beating this drum too much, Lee, but yeah, okay, like it might help us all.
You cut out. Rusty. Rusty. You have the most interesting look on my screen, but you're frozen. It might help us all. Rusty, you are frozen. Rusty. All right. Well, until he comes back. Mr. Cube says this event is amazing for every player. I agree. Dylan says Speed Tour is great idea for new players. You gotten 3K Lyra shards already. Let's see. Kreese says hoping I hold on the Stip Tour final. And I don't have Twitch app. You clipped that. What did you clip? Did you clip me going Rusty? Rusty, come back. What's up, CM Punk? Good to see you here today. I thought Rusty'd be back by now. Like, I legit did. Hello. Hello, Rusty. Come back to me. Rusty, can you hear me? Twitch app, you should have. Sorry. Let's rejoice the never-ending war. The greatest feud in all of Champions is Rusty versus his internet. That's awesome. Oh, what fun. What fun. You're frozen. Sent via text message. You're frozen. All right. Did we lose Rusty and his McDonald's Wi-Fi again? Oh, that's weird. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hi there. High five. Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. Comment of 2025. I'm gonna black Rusty out for a second because I don't know what in the world's going on with my screen stuff. And then see if I can't find him again. All right, hold on. Those listening to this podcast, you are riveted right now. You are riveted. I just know it. All right, as soon as Rusty comes back, I'll pop him on there. Otherwise, I'm going to interact with chat a little bit. Now Lee has a magic mirror house, I know. What's up, Hip Designer? Good to see you. We're trying to figure out Rusty's situation here with his intranets. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I can't hear him. If I knew how I could get that frozen pic of Rusty, you'd use it as your Discord avatar. Well, you could screenshot from your, computer. If you're on a Mac, it's like Command Shift 4. If you're on a Windows machine, I have no idea, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. Screenshot the replay. That's all. That's all it is. You can make that your avatar. I'm trying to call Rusty. No internet from you. Can you hop back in? All right, Rusty's texted me. Yes, you disappeared like a while ago. He said everything is spinning. He's trying to relaunch Discord. So, wait. Hold on.
I don't know what happened. I entered the Twilight Zone or something.
There you go. Yeah, you literally said a word and then you've been gone for like 5.5, 10 minutes, whatever it's been.
I was giving you some of my best stuff too. I mean,
Of course.
I just thought you were so focused on what I was saying, and the chat, I just thought they were speechless because of the profundity of my words. Yeah, that was weird. Sorry. Sorry.
Hold on. Before you relaunch, because you should say it, the comments were amazing. CM Punk said, did we lose Rusty and his McDonald's Wi-Fi again? But somebody back up here, maybe it was, no. It was Call Me Berlin said, let's rejoice in the never-ending battle between Rusty and his internet connection.
Oh my gosh.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It must be for those of you who don't know, I live in South Carolina. I think it might just be a statewide issue, but good night. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, man. Then Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. Who? My favorite feud of all time is Rusty versus his Wi-Fi.
Wow. Well, I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but yeah, I'm doing okay with FOMO.
That was the summary statement, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I
don't know
was
where you
gonna
were
say,
either.
well, did you talk about the week-long contest beyond the Stip Tour? Had we turned a corner there?
No,
Because
I was just playing with the chat. We were having a lot of fun.
yeah, so like this week-long contest, I would say has been rewarding, but I'm also not getting elite rewards from it.
Right.
I haven't really spent. I really like that there's not a daily spend element to it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
right? So like that feels really good. That feels really, really good to not have that breathing down my neck or rubbing it in my face, what I'm not getting. But I'm enjoying this week long contest, except for having to use the worst women on my roster for the shutdown. Bailey is not my role model. She is
She's
not.
not. That's shadows, by the way, not sweat stains.
I mean, gosh, dude, like having to use like Bailey and Trickster Chelsea is a major feel bad on. Otherwise, the men's showdown felt really, really good, really fun.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, was the rub it in my face comment, did you read Crazy Dina's comment before you said that, or was that just Kismet? Because that was...
Rusty got a stink face from his Wi-Fi. No, I just switched over to see that. Oh my gosh.
It
Yeah, I
was
did.
perfect timing. It was perfect timing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I will 100% agree. My least favorite thing about this week-long event, like I say, I wish I would have gone hard on the Drew McIntyre event and less on the week-long event. I didn't even think about the fact that there's usually like a daily spin component. But again, the fact that that's not there is interesting. Like I say, I feel like there's a different strategy at play with champions. I know and I'm pretty sure they've talked about it in the dev blogs, that they're trying to focus on daily player engagement a bit more. And so some of these things do actually lead to daily player engagement. And let's be honest, if that's what they're going for, I ended up having to do several 30-40 minute long showdown matches where I just had Chelsea stun lock and go, but she can't do damage. Like, her damage is like so little. I just sat there and stun lock, and I eventually knocked out the Chelsea requirement. I'm not going to knock out the Jade requirement. I'm not going to knock out the Bailey requirement, and I'm not going to knock out the what's the other one? I did Raquel's, whatever the other like
The
low end
Bailey
female one.
the Bailey role model
That was the worst.
was the other impossible
That
one.
was the
It was
worst.
really, really tough. The Any Rhea was okay because I
Easy.
had heavy metal
Yeah.
Rhea, mommy. But the Jade Cargill one was kind of tough for me too because
Yeah.
it just kept cascading and then losing the match. Like I would try to load my finisher and something would inevitably happen and it would go to their turn and they would just TKO me really quick. So that one got a little hairy. But yeah, I brought Jade up to gold and used
Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan as the coach. That's the trick. I think Jade has to be gold. She has to have the Cargill plate, and you have to have Hollywood Hogan in the coach spot, or else she just can't be trusted to be consistent damage wise. Or if for feud, I wouldn't trust her for a feud unless she was my best. And I didn't have another alternative. If you didn't use Asuka, if you
Yeah.
have Asuka.
Nugent Asuka is phenomenal. Yeah, no, with Jade, so same with Michelle McCool. I don't have enough focused showboat shards. I took Michelle McCool to 6 bronze, cannot take her to 6 silver, and therefore, similar with Jade. Jade was at 6 bronze, cannot take her beyond that because I don't have enough shards. So, you want to talk about FOMO? Like, I think that's the one area that I am absolutely crimped is focused showboat shards. I was able to take one of my new characters up to that, but now Michelle is just going to sit at 6 bronze for the inevitable foreseeable future. So there is a little bit of FOMO there because by the time I'm able to use Michelle McCool, she'll probably be out of the meta. Who knows? But probably it'll take me another month or even 2 to take her to 6 gold versus. And here's the thing that aggravates me about this week-long event. I took Chelsea Green to 6 gold. I took Raquel Powerhouse to 6 gold. I took role model Tech Bailey to 6-star gold, knowing I would never, ever, ever choose to use her again if I can avoid it. And I still took her 6 gold. But Michelle McCool, who I want to use, I cannot take beyond 6 bronze. So there's at least a little FOMO from me in that.
Okay, so let's talk about this weekly. Let's keep it going. Lee, have you noticed Steel Cage rules have gotten some sort of PR makeover, and now they're calling it Barebones Tour? Have you noticed that there was secretly Steel Cage rules?
Yeah.
So yeah, just call it what it is, man. Don't try to don't try to like slip one by the goalie here and call it. It's not Steel Cage rules, guys. It's bare bones. It's just bare bones. It's
right.
Actually, it's a steel cage with all of the rules. In fact, it's the most extreme ever. I didn't win any of the bare bones matches with the CSS. I looked at it and I was like, okay, I get some tokens or have my mental health. So, because I lost so many times, just health packs. I never thought I'd be at a point in the game where I'm like, maybe I need to claim some health packs off the prize.
Oh, that's funny. I'm regularly at that point in the game, but I did win most all, if not all, of the Barebones tours, but they cost me. I mean, there's at least one of them I had to even use like a 1,000 cash get back in the game option to even do it. The one where against John Cena, where he just literally subs you every single time, like that one
Yeah,
was
so dumb.
unfair. But here okay, they're listening again. Yes, they changed the name to protect our sanity or whatever, but we've been saying in particular in there, steel cage is fine, just don't use it on every freaking weekend. Like, use it randomly. Use it in tours where there's special rewards. Only use it where it really means something. And it seems like
Yeah.
they're doing that. Although, I wish I could release our Kamala blog video because I've got it ready to go. It's just we can't until the blog releases. But in that video, you'll hear me say, like, okay, it's steel cage rules, but everything is allowed. I'm like, just stop calling it steel. Like, every weekend doesn't have to be a steel cage event. Like, Rusty, did you notice
Yeah.
how on WWE TV, how every single match on every single show, including Speed and NXT, is a steel cage match? Have you noticed that recently?
Oh, so no, ironically, what I have noticed is there's a backstage attack after every single match. So
Right.
basically the same thing. Like Triple H, the only way he knows how to move forward a story is to like cut backstage, and there's lots of
Yeah.
come on. Like, and there was a lot of that in the Attitude Era too, like a ton. If you rewatch those old Raws, just like this is too
Right.
much backstage. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, so B Rock, our buddy B Rock Jr. Gaming threw in the chat a pretty awesome idea. I hadn't considered it, and that's to um, do your bare bones matchup based on reversals,
Hmm.
right? So if you say like Cena kept reversing me, so he said, yeah, I did Ozzy for Cena because Ozzy has a sub reversal, right? So he just doesn't allow him to do his thing, Ozzy with the one MP charge. That's pretty smart. And but that what that means is rather than going after the contest superstar, maybe just use a superstar that'll work to
Yeah.
win and take half the rewards and be okay with it, right?
Yeah, that's fair, and that does make sense. You know, like I say, the evolution of the meta of this game is the more complex play, and I'm more of a set it and forget it kind of guy. I want to go in with a character and just fight the battle and win. But yeah, if you are bigger brained like B Rock or Sir Zorro or ones like that, you know, you do have to start thinking a lot more of like, okay, well, if he's subbing me every turn and I can't. So I did only just try. I played it until I beat it with the CSS. That was my problem. But if I had
Right.
not been thinking CSS, then okay, who is it that every time they sub me they get hurt? Because then boom, it's like you say, smooth brain versus big brain. My smooth brain in this is I just want to use one move set per character and just run them and go because there's so much complexity. But you actually have to let your brain wrinkle a little bit and think about which way you're gonna go, which again ends the FOMO to some degree, but also then makes you use more of your roster, which I do like that. I like the fact that they're making you use more people. And, you know, kind of to put a point on this, you know, is FOMO going away? And then I want to ask you, do you think that's a good thing here in a sec? The way that they said in the blog, the dev diary, of you being able to use the characters you want to use more, that makes me feel like they're going for engagement, even at the expense of maybe some of the dollars from the game. Like, they're going to get their money. Don't get me wrong, it's a business, but they're trying a new strategy, and I think that the FOMO side of it is still there for, you know, those who want to chase the top things, but I think the focus is engagement. And if they can get you to use Chelsea Green for 3 hours, that's engagement. So my question to you, Rusty, is FOMO going away a good thing for the game? Not just in our views, but like objectively as you can.
Um, yeah, so I gosh, that's a tough question. So you while I don't want anyone to experience a fear of missing out. I do want the game to be so engaging that we regret not playing, so that there is an element of I can't miss out because this is so much fun.
Right.
There's something to be won, there's something to be earned, there's something to grind for, there's something that is challenging that I'm going to have to get on Discord and seek some, answers from my faction mates. I'm going to have to get in the voice chat and coordinate with my faction mates. Okay, so all of those elements, sure. If that goes down, so does my enjoyment of the game. So keep the game high level of competition and compensation to where I feel like if I don't engage with it, I will miss out, and I don't want that.
Right.
So that's a really healthy thing across the game, this game state, right? But what I would hate is if, oh, here's a great example, Lee. I think about this one all the time. You better spend today or this weekend, or you will never, ever have
Ooh.
another chance to get Raphael as your um, gym damage coach, right? So, like, that kind of FOMO, and especially when when a choice is presented where it's either or,
Right.
and you're going to miss one, and like at a reasonable level of spending and gameplay, like at a reasonable level, you can only take one and you'll never see the other again.
Mm.
I don't want any more of that in this game. I don't want to be wishing. There have been times where I'm just like, why did I take Leonardo? And I'm like, what am I saying? Like Raphael wasn't the better choice, but I don't know that I will ever have a chance to have him on my roster. And that kind of FOMO sucks.
Right.
And I don't like that. I don't
Right.
like that I missed out and that there's nothing I can do in the long term of the game. I can't get him off the UCC. I can't get him off the marquee stip. His shards aren't available. His plate's not available. That's the wrong kind of FOMO. And
Right.
it's cool to have licensed events. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I'd rather never, ever, ever have a licensed event again than for there to be a limited window of a key entourage ability that you just will never see again.
Right.
That sucks.
Yeah, yeah, and at least like with the Rocky, and I don't know behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, with the Rocky stuff, somehow they got word, or somehow they knew that they were about to lose the license with it, so they did one more last event, and they gave Apollo pretty much away almost. They gave the other characters away through the stuff, but they still kept Tech Rocky as like the dangling carrot. You're gonna have to spend a lot of money to get to him, and I don't know, like not to say I disagree, because I don't disagree with what you're saying there. They do still have to have something that is this is a, like Drew McIntyre last week. Drew McIntyre was the $2,000 character of the month. If you got him, you're super, super lucky. And that's okay, because they gave away the B tier, the A tier, and the S tier, and Kamala is going to be available for $200 or $300. So like they have to get their money from, the top players somehow. I get that. But yeah, the fact that I can never get Tech Rocky, I can never get Casey Jones, you can never, theoretically, never get Turtle Rey Mysterio, Bark at the Moon Ozzy, Johnny Knoxville, I can't ever get Tech Cody, like Stardust Cody. I can't get him. I can't get Ryback. Like, I would not mind. I mean, they've got to have some way to write him into the contract somehow. Like, even if they went to the UCC for 3 million, points or whatever, at least there'd be some way to get them, and it would give me something to strive for. Like, if Tech Rocky went up on the UCC tomorrow, I would save for the next 5 months and get him.
Yeah.
But I can't. He's
Yeah.
gone.
Well, and that's B Rock said in the chat, right? Make them great fighters, but not needed entourage.
Right.
Like essential entourage is a very foolish thing to put on a licensed character or a
Right.
short-lived or a one-time only. I don't want to feel. I just don't want to feel that burn. I don't want to feel the burn of like Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday, Sunday. Like
One
act
day
now
only.
or never. Yeah. What is that? Like they say in a wedding, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I
Spin
don't ever say
now.
that when I lead weddings now. That's
Well, the opposite would be spin now or forever lose your peace. Right.
ooh.
And like, I don't want that kind of FOMO. And I certainly don't want it on, um, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep harping on this. I think I've said all I need to say about it.
Yeah.
But man, that just feels bad and for the wrong and in the wrong ways and doesn't help the game state and doesn't help the health of the game and doesn't help player engagement. Um, they could release, listen, and it's not even about the character. They could throw a 250%, gym coach, power gym coach on whoever, the next person that came out, and I would be stoked and go after them hard. And
Yeah.
yeah, anyway,
Yeah. Well, let's end with this. I totally agree. I 100% agree with you, B Rock. They should not put essential entourage on characters that are going away instantly. It's okay if they have a Johnny Knoxville or a Bark at the Moon every once in a while, as long as like you guys aren't missing. Like I have both those characters. You're not missing anything in terms of entourage ability. Johnny Knoxville isn't even meta relevant anymore. Et cetera, et cetera. So that kind of eliminates that. They do need to have some FOMO for the game to survive because it is a game that requires money to pay staff and blah blah blah. All I'll say is I think the format they are going to now. I want all of us to encourage them in this. B tier, free tier, day one. A tier, within 2 to 3 weeks into the game. S
right.
tier, 4 to 5 weeks, before the end of the MLC. One more at top tier character that's available for a set amount, and then one character that's super rare. If they keep that going, keep the accessibility of the speed tours going, keep all that, like the only way they're going to keep doing this is if we incentivize them. And it seems like right now engagement is what incentivizes them. So when we play the game, they're like, this is working, let's do more of this. But if spending and engagement goes down, they're going to change the format again, and they're going to go to something else, and maybe it'll go back to where you only get one character a month, and then everybody else's spend. I'm glad those days are gone. I want to incentivize them to keep going with the current format. So
Yeah,
play.
yeah, I like it. I like it. And you're right. You're right. And that's a great closing note. So let us know where you feel FOMO in the comments, or let us know how you're doing with FOMO. Some possible titles I wrote, Lee, we might do for this episode is like when the FOMO fades, when the
Ooh,
FOMO fades, and
and
all
all
is
is stripped away.
is FOMO fading or FOMO is not your friend. There's a few titles I came up with, but I'd love to know, like, how are you doing with that, and how can we, as a community, overcome it, but also enjoy the game and get great things from it,
Yep.
right? So we're going to do some power ratings throughout our streams. We're going to continue to do great things on our Twitch channel. So if you haven't yet, head over to twitch.tv/champions chat podcast and give us a like or a subscribe or a follow, whatever it's called there. Of course, we're on YouTube, and we see some great numbers on YouTube, but it can always be higher. So share this with your faction, share this with your with your Discord servers, and let's help grow our channel together so that we can help the community together.
See you on the next one, friends. Bye.